Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of The Bloom Podcast, where we discuss everything self-development, wellness, and evolution. I am your host, Delila, and in this season, we are highlighting some of Houston's most impactful women who are out here killing it, all while serving their purpose. Now help me welcome Chelsea.
Hi.
Hello. I'm super excited to tell everybody how we met, how we connected, just so your story can also inspire other women that are in the same position as you to reach out and not be scared, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I know this is, for me, it was like a scary moment, but it was something my heart was calling me to. So I was like, girl, jump on it.
Do it. And I love that you did it. I love that you did it. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. But first, I want to talk about how we connected.
Yeah.
In season 2, I was like, let me just start an application to make it a little bit easier for me to just keep up with everybody. Because the first season I did reach out to just like the girls that I knew or like certain girls that like I was inspired by.
Yeah.
But Chelsea actually reached out to me and was interested in being on the second season, which I was super excited about because I was like, somebody wants to be on? Like, that's so cool. It made me feel even like just, I don't know, really happy to know that people are watching. It's inspiring people and that they want to come on and share their story as well. But before we got to that point, you were my 100th follower on the Bloom.
So crazy.
And I reached out to her and I was like, hey, you're my 100th follower. Like, I want to meet up and give you flowers. Like, you know, just give you your flowers for, you know, just engaging with the platform. And then it led to you actually being interested in coming on. And after that, we got on a Zoom call and we connected and it went really well. I feel like it went really well.
I'm glad because I'm a super nervous person. Like, this is my first ever interaction or just speaking out in public, period, to tell my story, to tell who I am. Yes. I always been a type of person, like, I'm okay in my box. I'm comfortable. Don't take me out. Don't put anything on me. Just leave me right here. But I always just make sure, like, I have a good heart in everything I do, even though I was in my box.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you, like, seeing me for who I was, allowing me to reach out to you. And like you said, I was your 100 follower, and it was just like, oh my God, how did this happen? And when I seen your previous episode, and shout out to all the beautiful ladies before me, like, kudos to them. Like, that was like my motivation, my fertilization to give me the courage to even come, you know, approach you.
Yeah.
And the one beautiful lady I do know personally is Hollywood.
Yes.
Beautiful episode. Loved it, love it. And when I seen that, it was like God kept sprinkling on me like, hey, it's your time, it's your time. And then I became your 100 follower. And then you opened up an application. I was like, oh, Lord, here it is. And my husband was like, you think you're ready? And I'm like, now or never, baby.
Yeah, it's like now or never.
Yes,
I
now
love
or never.
it.
And I did it, and trust me, I was like shaking in my boots the whole time. I'm like, oh my God, is she gonna believe me? It's like, am I good enough? Like, that's what I always worry about. And I feel like that's what put me in my box for so many years, not feeling like I was enough. And I am enough. You're enough. Everybody is enough. And just always keep that in mind. Because the worst that can happen, you could have said, oh, no, not this time. Or, oh, maybe later. And at least I jumped on the opportunity and I gave it my all. And I just told my truth. And you saw that. So I appreciate it.
Oh, that makes me so happy. It makes my heart so warm. I love it. So excited for you to tell your story. Because you've told me. And I also want to point out that when we were on the Zoom, I told you I didn't want to share too much because I wanted you to come on and just let it be like as organic as and authentic as possible. So I'm excited to hear more about you.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about who you are, what do you do, and
Okay, so first starters, like, of course, my name is Chelsea, and like I was saying from the beginning, I've always been a very shy individual. If anybody knew me growing up, I was always in my little bubble. I had my friends, and throughout high school, I always was searching like a go-getter, like, what can I do to make me the most money but the least amount of school?
Yeah.
And so as I'm going through high school, figuring this out, I love dentistry. Like, I love to make people smile. I love to see smiles. Like, I was infatuated with teeth. So I was like, okay, let me go to dental assistant school. So that's what I did. I became an assistant. It's going on 10 years of me being a registered RDA in the state of Texas. And now I'm on the more holistic healing side of dentistry.
Okay.
And so from there, I started getting inspired to really, like, dig deeper, just not looking into things for the money. And my husband had asked me the question. He was like, if you were doing what you were doing and if you weren't getting paid, would you still be doing it? And my answer was like, no. I was doing this because of the money, and I appreciate all the beautiful souls that I met on this journey. But if it wasn't for the money, I wouldn't be doing it. He said, I need you to figure out what you want to do for you and what makes you happy, because you have to figure out who Chelsea is. Yeah. And for years, I didn't know who Chelsea was, but God had set it upon me to really like do some soul searching, go through some things. I've been in some really dark places to figure out who Chelsea was. And at the moment, I was so mad at him for taking me to these dark spots. But if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be who I am. And I wouldn't be sitting here in this moment at this time.
Amen.
So fast forward, 31. So
yes, and flawless. I love it.
Thank you. So I finally figured out who Chelsea was or is and still becoming. And I feel like who Chelsea is what are you eating? And that's my purpose. Like, what are you eating is my purpose. And every person I ever interacted with gave me the fertilization for what are you eating. So I want to be an advocate for so many people in this world that's struggling through with so many systemic issues. I've lost so many people from cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, and all these things are things that we have control over. So I want to be that person and that hand and that ear to stand up for people that need help just like me. Because in our community, health is expensive.
Oh my gosh.
And it shouldn't be that way. Having healthy produce and food shouldn't be expensive. Those things should come free in life, especially if they came from earth. So why not be free?
Exactly.
So that's basically who Chelsea is.
And
I'm still blossoming, still learning, and I'm so excited for whatever God has coming my way, and all I ask is just that I be in alignment. So
beautiful. I love that. That was so beautiful. Well, I want you to know that we're gonna forever be evolving, and that you're doing great. I'm so glad that you're like taking leaps of faith and just continuing your journey, and it's gonna forever be like that. So like you said, we're gonna have dark times, we're gonna have times where things are just like back to back, just going really well. But I think once we get used to accepting things kind of like just for what they are and what the outcome was or is, and knowing that we have no control over a lot of things, I think that eases it a little bit. It's not gonna make it like just all go away, or there's never gonna be like a point that you get to in life where it's just gonna be that point and everything's gonna be great from there on. You know what I mean? I don't know if certain people might have that perspective, but it's like that's not life. We're gonna forever have ups and downs. There's gonna forever be times where hardships, great highs, and just low lows, and just accepting them and getting through them. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. I encountered this one beautiful lady I met through training, working out. And I remember I was struggling trying to get through these sets, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. And she looked me in my eyes. She said, it's something about you. I don't know what it is, but it's something about you. I just need to tell you this. And she told me, she said, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you.
Right.
And when she told me that, I became like superwoman. And like, I take that not just in fitness, but in life, period. Like anything in life that we ever encounter, if it doesn't challenge us, we're not going to change, because you have no need to change.
Right.
So,
but I think overall it's just discipline too. Like once you discipline yourself in one area of your life, it'll pour into like all the other areas of your life.
For sure. And then like the health journey or the healthy life, it's not just about fitness. It's not just about nutrition. It's about encountering, healing our four bodies, and our four bodies are spiritually, our mental, our physical, and emotional bodies. Beautiful. So you can heal your physical body all you want on the inside, on the outside, but if the inside is all messed up, then how could you ever truly heal? You can eat all the healthy foods you want to. So as far as how I would like to work and to let people know that who I come in contact with, I work from the inside out.
Beautiful.
Because that's how it flows, and I connect with heart first, heart and mind. Once you can kind of get a hold of those two, everything else will kind of flow into place.
Okay.
I don't know if I should be nervous.
No, these are like general questions. It's like that's like my biggest thing. Like, I may not be the best like interviewer or anything like that, but I'm very interested in just like learning people's journeys, like meeting them where they're at in life, meeting people of different walks of life, learning their experiences, and just hearing their perspectives, because it teaches me that my view in life is not the only view, and I have to be open to understanding other people as well. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the holistic side of everything. What does that look like for people that don't know exactly what that is?
Okay, so holistic healing is basically the most natural remedy of healing without pharmaceuticals, without surgery. It's basically just implementing things that come straight from the earth, rather if it's herbals, rather if it's food, but anything that comes from the earth is considered holistic healing. Okay. And I'm not saying, I'm not putting down pharmaceuticals, I'm not putting down surgeries or anybody that practice those things, but holistic is a whole different industry. It's their own partnership. And I will always suggest anyone to try a holistic healing first. And then if that doesn't work, which sometimes in some cases it doesn't work, and that's okay. Yeah. That's why there's other options out there to get healing done.
Okay. And healing as far as what? Like,
so
in what
healing
aspect?
As far as like, for example, if someone is a diabetic, a lot of diabetics, their disorder can get reversed just by changing the diet.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've seen this one documentary called Dope Sick. Dope Sick is a really good show to watch to kind of understand some healing and how like the pharmaceutical industry works. But basically, like if you just go in, you change your diet, have the right mindset, you can reverse diabetes. Those things are irreversible.
Wow.
Just like as cancer, I mean, we all have cancer cells in our body, but with refined sugars, processed foods, exposure to a lot of toxins, those speed up all our cancer cells in our body and causes us to have cancer. So if you just keep in mind, just be mindful about everything that you put on and in your body, I think that can really give you success on your wellness journey.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So what are some tips that you'd give us as far as like beginning? Because I think that's probably the hardest thing in any journey that you start is beginning, because you may not know exactly what approach to take or how to prepare yourself or like, just how to go about it. And I think once you start, it's kind of like it becomes a part of your lifestyle in a way, right?
For sure. I would say to start it is the hardest thing in the world, because you're breaking bad habits, you're breaking routine for yourself or whoever you're trying to help. But one thing I will say, keep in mind, give yourself patience, give yourself gratitude, give yourself love, and understand if you do revert back or you go back to where you started, it's okay. Yeah. As long as you're moving forward at a slow pace, take your time with it and love that journey. Love those hard times or times you feel like you've been doing really good, but all of a sudden you see that chocolate piece of cake, you're like, oh my God, I really want that cake.
Just one bite.
Yeah, just one bite. It's okay to take that. I always give my clients an 80-20 scale, and that 80-20 scale is 80% of the time you're doing what you're supposed to do for your health, and that 20%, if you want to go out, have fun on the weekend, indulge in those things that you feel like my body really wants that, hey, do that, because you can't deprive yourself. Right. You're still human. Yes. Like, live your life.
Yes.
So that's what I say.
I know we're talking about this, but I just want to take the time to say that you're just so soft and your energy is so beautiful. I just like, I love it. You're like smooth. Aww. Not just like physically, but I feel like your aura is just so smooth too.
Thank you.
Yes. So, okay, you mentioned you have clients.
I do have clients.
Okay, what does that look like to be your client? Take us through that.
Okay, so to become my client right now, a lot of my work is all pro bono, and I just feel like what I'm doing, like I said, I'm walking in my purpose, and when it's time for it to be released to where I'm getting compensated for it, it's just going to happen organically for me. Okay. So how you become my client, just you can reach me on Instagram right now. That's how a lot of people reach out to me. And before What Are You Eating actually came out, I started to kind of reconvert my personal Instagram to kind of reel people in, to show them like, hey, I'm on this different journey. These are the things that I'm implementing in my own life. And before I knew it, people started reaching out to me, messaging me like, hey, what do you think about this? Or can I do that? Have you ever heard of this? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even there yet, but okay, I'm going to help as many people as I can. And like I said, during this journey of What Are You Eating, it's not about the money for me. It's about what my heart is being called to do, and I really want to be there to help someone, because I struggle with so many health issues nobody knows, but if you know me personally, and it costs so much money. It's a lot of things I had to turn down because I couldn't afford to do it at the time. And I'm like, I didn't want to ask X, Y, and Z to help me. And I'm like, this should be free to everyone and all people of all walks of life, all races. Why is it so expensive for me to become healthy again? So me just keeping that in mind, like that's why most of my work right now is pro bono.
Nice. Okay.
But towards the end of the year, some things may change. But most of my services are like one-on-one coaching. Also have a service called Connect the Dot service, and that service is more like educational based, where I can kind of educate people on like how to read labels, how to read ingredients, and recognize things, how the body is connected to the things we actually eat, and some of the products that we put on our skin, how that relates to a lot of health issues as well.
Wow. Okay.
And I also want to implement at the end of the year something called farm to fork services. So it's a lot of local farmers out here in Houston.
Beautiful.
And that produce is the best produce that you can get on the market.
Yeah.
It's this one farmer out here. Her name is Ivy Farm. She's the one black owner of the farm. She opened up her own black-owned grocery store in Sunnyside.
Wow.
So she's been all over the news. I have not met her, but I love her story. She's like another person that I inspired, just like how I was like following you, looking at your story. I'm like, that's another woman is doing a thing. So
in that community.
Yeah, in that community.
Is beautiful.
And her story is to help her community out. And I love it. So I want to implement a service to where I can actually go grocery shopping for people, build like them a little goodie box of all healthy produce, snacks, and just deliver it to them.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, because I feel like what you don't know, but until you actually know it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, if you ever want to do anything in A-Leaf, and you need, or at any point,
hey, I need to, because I graduated from A-Leaf, so why not?
Yeah. So anytime you're doing any projects and you need like anything, you can always reach out. Yes, that's super exciting. Sure. I eventually do want to get to a point where I can I may not have an idea of it now, but as far as giving back to A-Leaf, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm a big A-Leaf baby. Like,
yeah.
I love it.
Why not? That made us who we are, right?
Yes, yes. Oh, I can't wait to tell that story. That's a deep story. But as to why I'm just like so attached to A-Leaf, because I was actually born in Chicago, but I was raised here since I was like 3.
Wow.
So I claim Houston.
Yeah. I mean, that's me. Like, I was raised and born in Louisiana, but I've been out here since I was like 3. So I mean, I still claim Louisiana.
I mean, of course you have to,
but excuse me, I'm definitely a A-Leaf, Houston, Hastings baby.
Yeah. Shout out to us.
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned reading labels, which is something I don't know how to do, right? Before we get to that, though, take us through what your grocery shopping journey or experience looks like.
Okay, so at first I hated grocery shopping. I always went grocery shopping on an empty stomach, so I used to grab everything and anything that I see that my stomach is calling me to. So I just had to learn not to do that. So always make sure that you eat before you go grocery shopping. But I came up with a plan for myself to have to write a list down, number 1.
Okay.
And number 2, always make sure you have at least 2 different varieties of proteins, rather that's like a chicken or a beef. Have 2 different types of vegetables, rather if it's a green vegetable or a leafy green vegetable. Have 2 different types of fruits. And then have 2 different healthy snacks. Ooh. And just having those 2 different options on your list, you can get some healthy snacks, meals, produce with under $50. I've been doing it. It is possible. You just have to look out for deals and just know what you're getting. And that's one of my services, Connect the Dot, to kind of help you to understand how to grocery shop.
That is beautiful. Yes. I love that. Okay, so let's look at this basket. You brought me this beautiful basket, and I'm so thankful that you did. I was so excited when I seen it. I was like, I got stuff. Okay, so can we read a label on one of these products so you can kind of like explain it to us?
Yes, that most definitely can. So we can start off with this brand. It's one of my favorite brands. This one? The Siete brand. Yes.
Okay, let me see.
And I hope you like churros, because I'm a girl who loves churros.
I'm not a picky eater. I'll eat anything. Anything you give me, I'm not scared to try it. I will eat it.
Awesome.
And of course, It has the family back. Okay,
Yes. So with this brand here, like I said, this is one of my favorite brands to have. This brand here, CFA, check it out. It's so good. But just looking at this bag, the first thing I always look at, of course, the front labels. Look at all labels, front and back, because they can have some misconception either in the front or back. So the first thing this label says, it says grain-free, and that's what is number one. Rings a bell off for me that that's good. And then right here at the bottom, it says non-GMO product verified. So that's showing that this actual product is non-GMO.
And what is GMO, non-GMO for the people that don't know?
The non-GMO is non-genetically modified.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't want to.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal. It's not pumped up with antibiotics or anything.
Okay.
And then on the back of this chip bag here, on the list here, these are the ingredients. So this is the first thing I look. I rarely look at the nutritional facts only because I'm not a person that looks at calories. It's not about calories. It's about what you're actually eating and the actual ingredients in it.
Yeah.
So the ingredients here is very, very simple. It's just coconut sugar. It's also some pumpkin powder, cinnamon, and it also contains coconut and vanilla powder. That's all that's in this product. And this product, all their product is cooked with avocado oil. Avocado oil is the number one oil to cook with all your products because you can cook it on a high heat. Okay. All your other oils like extra virgin olive oil or grapeseed oil, all those oils are toxic, especially if you're cooking them on a high heat.
Now that's good to know.
Yeah, so you can cook with extra virgin olive oil, but only on a low heat. When you turn it up, it becomes rancid in the body, and your body becomes very inflamed from it. So if you ever feel like, oh my God, I just made some eggs with some avocado, not avocado, some olive oil, and I feel so bloated, that's why your body is getting so inflamed for it.
You see, Delila?
So make sure you always cook. If you're a person that likes stir fry, you're always cooking on high, make sure you use avocado oil.
That is so good.
Yeah, so all their chips made, like I said, in avocado oil, so you can eat the whole bag and enjoy, and you won't feel a thing. Not saying that you should go eat this every day and all day, but if you want to indulge in this bag, girl, you're more than welcome.
Yeah,
this
so
is gold.
I can't wait to indulge in that bag.
Yes, this is gold. Gold for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. I'm super excited for that. Okay, so I'm glad you said that because I normally cook with olive oil. I'm over here thinking I'm like, okay, I know nothing about this stuff, but I like to tell myself I'm a healthy girl.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about putting it, I put olive oil on certain things without cooking it. Like on my salad, I'll drizzle olive oil. Is that
perfect.
fine? Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's just when you take olive oil from its natural state to a heated state, that's when it becomes inflammatory if you cook it too high. But avocado oil and also coconut oil, you can cook on high and it won't cause any inflammatory issues.
Okay, so I'll definitely do that shift. You see, I'm the type of person where you only have to tell me once and I'll fix it and I'll keep doing it. So.
Yeah, that's good. You'll be the perfect client.
Okay, well, I need to be a client. I was just telling Chelsea before we started the interview that yes, I'm active, but I have been lacking in food because I'm like, I work out, so I don't got to worry about what I eat. And I'm at a point where I'm like, you got to start worrying about what you're eating because, and then I think I'm not the worst eater. And there's a couple of good qualities that I feel like I have that if I had your help, it would just all balance everything out.
For sure.
Because I'm more of a chicken girl. I don't really do meats that much. I rarely, but it's just because I just love chicken. I love chicken.
Like most of us who doesn't like chicken.
No, I feel like I meet a lot of people that love meat.
Yeah. And I'm not a big meat person.
No.
I'm a size girl. Give me all the vegetables and all the fruit that you eat, and then give me a little bit of meat.
Exactly. Yeah. So that, and then what else? I'm more of a prepper, so I'd rather do small things. But you could tell us. Okay, tell us why. It's not so good. Because you told me earlier.
Oh yeah. So meal prepping is it can be a very good thing, but a lot of people, they're always on the go and okay, I'm gonna have a smoothie, avocado toast, and I'm gonna eat this really quick, and then I'm on to the next event or whatever I have to do in life because we're so busy. But like I was telling her in the beginning when we were talking about it, I was like, okay, that's not good. And she was like, oh my God, why? And the reason why that's not good is because when you're already have the intentions when you're cooking, like, oh my God, I have so much to do. You're in a rush. Your body's in a state of fight or flight, which is a sympathetic state, which most of all of us are. We're always stressed. Like we have to go to the next thing and the next thing. We have family, kids. So when you're eating all your food and in a state of fight or flight, your food will never digest. And that food is just going to sit there, and that's what causes stubborn fat. That's what causes bloating, gassiness throughout the day. And you just wonder, why I'm eating healthy, so why do I still feel like this?
Yeah.
And that's why.
Okay. That's really good to know.
Yeah. So one tip that I give my clients to kind of put yourself in that parasympathetic state is to take 3 deep breaths through your nose, because when we breathe through our nose, we create something called nitrous oxide. And the only way our body can create nitrous oxide is through our nose breathing. So you take in 3 deep breaths before you take your meal. You have gratitude, rather if you're praying or just thanking whoever you may thank for that meal at the time, and kind of bring yourself down, and then you can eat your food. And that's how you kind of trigger that parasympathetic state. And to always be like that, like even in a stressful moment, like the first thing people say, okay, I need you to take a deep breath. I need you to take a deep breath. And that's why. So you're triggering that part of your brain to calm down, to turn off that fight or flight mode, and to turn on that feel good syndrome. So yeah. So I start to do that even if I'm in a rush. I'm like, okay, 3 breaths. Thank God for this meal. Thank you, God, for this moment. Because in this moment, every moment we get, we won't have that moment again.
Yeah.
No matter if it is the same thing the next day, you still won't get back that same moment you just had. Yeah. So just giving gratitude towards that.
Yeah. And that's so intentional.
Yeah.
And I love that, because I try to be as intentional as possible with everything that I do. But I think, like, now that you're saying it's like, I guess I didn't take eating that much into consideration, which is like, you have to be that intentional with even like the smallest thing. You have to just be, I do a lot of mindful eating, and I do a lot of mindful things as far as like putting on my body. Like, not saying that I don't like to smell good. I'm a lady. Of course I like to smell good, but I just always know, like, okay, if I put this on myself, I know the things that may come out, like the outcome that may come out from it. It's like I may have some skin irritation, or down the road it may come up to where it's having something called endocrine blockers that I'm actually putting on my body. Because you'll be surprised, there's so many women nowadays are going through like miscarriages, unable to get pregnant, and it's like, why? They eat good, they work out, they have everything, they have a profile of a perfect human being, so why can't they create and hold a new life? And it's because of the food. It's because of things that we're putting on our body. It's the environmental toxins. So all these things come into play. But when you start to have like mindful eating, mindful things when you're putting on your body, and just being educated with those things, I think it can change a lot of women issues as far as not caring. And I myself, I experienced a loss of a baby. A lot of people don't know that. So yeah, I lost my first baby. That was like one of the hardest. It's traumatizing.
Yeah, it was very traumatizing, very painful. It put me in a very dark place at the time. And just having that moment, and during that journey, I can remember I felt like, God, what did I do enough? Like, what can I do so that the next time that I get pregnant, I can actually keep this baby? And that's why What Are You Eating was my purpose, to figure that out. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. And where did it all connect?
It all connected when I started to change my feminine products.
Okay.
I also started to eat cleaner. Like, I changed certain meats, the quality of meats I was eating. I changed the oils I was cooking with. I also changed a lot of skin products that I was using. I used to use a lot of products that had like fragrance in it. Yeah. So like I said, I'm a lady. I like to smell good. Yeah. So now I only put natural oils like on my face and on my skin. It's 100% natural oil, and most of it is coconut oil that I use on myself. Okay. Yeah, and I start to see a huge difference. And after my loss of my first baby, exactly 6 months later, when I made those changes, I became pregnant.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful. That's such a beautiful testimony. I love that. Yes.
And not just that, but just God was ready for me. At the time, I I thought I was ready to have a family, even though I was married. I'm like, okay, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my time.
Yeah.
Like,
And then God prepares you for those moments.
Oh,
So it's like he
yeah.
probably needed you to learn that
Yeah.
before like bringing. Is it your daughter or your son?
My son.
Your
My
son, before
yeah,
bringing
yeah.
your son. And those are probably things that you're now implementing into your children, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because at the moment, like I said, I was thinking like, okay, I'm married. I'm ready to have a baby. And I've tried to have a kid beforehand, you know, and it wasn't working. And at one point, I honestly felt like, okay, I can't have kids.
Oh, no.
I did feel like I was that woman that I couldn't provide a family for my husband. So I always had that in the back of my mind. But then when I got pregnant for the first time, God showed me like, no, you can. And it's okay, but it's just not time.
Yeah.
And that's why the loss happened.
Yeah.
And I was so mad at him at the time. Like it was a lot, but I thank him for that moment. And I can remember going through that dark time. In the midst, I remember I was like crying on my living room floor and not understanding like what life was, because I just felt like everything was coming in my life and being taken right from me.
Wow.
And that was just like the last straw for me. And it was at a point where I felt like I didn't even want to live anymore. Like that's how bad it had gotten for me. And I couldn't even connect with my husband because I was too selfish to see that not only did I suffer from loss, but he did too. Like that was a part of him as well. But you have to know the certain things you go through in life that God's going to sit you down and be like, this is between me and you, and I need you to get through this with me and you and trust and believe in me. And I wasn't ready for that because I felt like, no, my husband's right here. He's going to get me through that. But that journey in that moment, that was between me and God. And he saw me through it, and he said something to me I would never forget. And he told me, as I'm crying on the floor, he was like, I didn't do that to you. I did that for you.
Yeah.
And when he told me that, it was just like my whole mood changed. I had like a sense of just peace take over me. And I went from not talking to anybody to interacting with people again. It's just like somebody hit a switch and it just was all taken away.
Well, that is so beautiful. I love that you have a relationship with God.
Yes.
And I love that you and your husband have him centered in y'all's relationship. That's beautiful. I aspire to be that one day.
Yes.
And that was just such a beautiful testimony.
Yeah.
And your awareness and your self-awareness and your emotional awareness, spiritual awareness is showing, and I see it, and you're deserving of everything that's coming to you, and your son, everything. That's so beautiful.
My rainbow baby. I love him. He is full of fire, full of personality, and I just feel like he's gonna be something. I'm not just saying that because that's my son, but before I got pregnant with him, I had a vision that I was having a boy. So nobody couldn't tell me that I was not having a boy, because God showed me exactly how he was going to look, how his skin tone was going to be, that he was going to have really curly hair. And that's exactly how my son came out. And I'm like, God, you is something else.
He is. We always have those moments with him where it's like he's either revealing something or confirming something for us or giving us that sense of peace, where it's just like, and like you said, there's certain things that God wants just between you and him. And that's the beautiful thing about having a relationship with him. And I'm glad you can identify that. You know, a lot of people can, a lot of people don't have a relationship with God, which is really sad, you know.
I love it. And I was so embarrassed to even talk about it. Like, as a woman, a lot of women don't want to talk about their loss, but when I start opening up about it with so many people like experiencing the same thing, and some people that was like super close to me going through the exact same thing, and look at me here like thinking God was mad at me or I did something wrong, and it wasn't, you know, to me it was for me, and it was for all of us to go through. So all women out there, just know that it's not your fault. You are enough, and if it doesn't happen, it will happen on the right time and the perfect time for you.
Amen. You know, God uses us. We're a resource for him here on earth. And he uses us to share our testimonies, our life, and with building those relationships, that's how you connect and they see God through you. You know what I mean? So you being able to share that with other women, I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Just keep being a resource.
That's exactly what I want, and I'm glad you can see that, and I hope everyone I ever meet can see that as well.
Like, I don't know, I think I'm at a point in my life where my biggest goal is just to continue being a resource for him as well, and just allow people to see him through me, through conversations, through how I carry myself. I'm not perfect. I'm always say that I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And there are going to be the people that see it and get it and aspire, you know, to be a child of God, of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And some people are just not going to care to understand it. And that's okay too. But I always try to leave people with like a good taste of me, even though as bad as I want that to always be the case, it's not always the case.
Yeah.
But you'll think back at one point and be like, Delila actually had grace for me. Delila was loving. Delila was encouraging. Delila was something. I try to be as positive, you know?
Yeah.
So if they recognized it in the moment or not, hopefully they'll reflect and see it at some point, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I feel much better. I don't feel like I was getting tested.
No. Nothing crazy. Okay, so do you have any other passions outside of what you're doing now that you do or that you look forward to on a daily basis or just every now and then that you like to do?
Yeah, so one of my passions that I love, and I told myself I wanted to make a promise to myself, is connecting with God this year. I wanted to let go of things I didn't have control over because I'm a planner. I like to have control over everything that's happening in my life, and it's some things I just had to learn to let go. And like that old saying go, let God, and allow him to work through you. Yeah. So my passion for myself this year is to walk with him and only with him, and to know that no matter who I come around with, yes, they're here to help me through my journey. Yes, they're here to be a loved one and a friend, but to know that it's always me and him, and he's the one who's going to get me through and to where I need to be at. Amen. So that connecting with that is a passion. And also being a friend. Yeah. I love people. I love all my friends. Even though I don't talk to all my friends every day and all day, just that connection to be myself and to let my hair down and to feel like I'm not being judged for who I am and the things that I want to do. I love it. Yeah. And I love to make new friends. And I'm like, am I too old to be trying to make new friends?
No, you're never too old.
And I look at it like, somebody's going to look at me crazy. Like, girl, you should have the friends that you had since you were in elementary school. Because my husband has friends since he was like in elementary school, all best friends. And my little circle, we all went to high school together. We all married our high school sweethearts.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, so it's like, it's just us. But on my journey and me just opening up and becoming like the flower that I know I'm supposed to be, like I'm meeting so many people, and I've always been afraid to like say like, hey, how can we connect, or how can I help you, or how you can help me, and not just like in a way to make money. Like it's deep. What I want is deeper than that. Like how can you help me get through the life I'm experiencing? I can help you get through some of the experience you may encounter in life, because I think that's what life is about. Like my life is not meant, all the things that I encounter is not really meant for me. It's meant for somebody else. And so I can tell my story to help heal someone else. And I think it's just like a chain reaction with everybody that you come in contact with.
We're all connected.
Yes.
We're all connected.
Yes,
God is everywhere at once. Amen to that. Yes.
So besides that, I may be a boring person.
No.
But most definitely just connecting with God more and just being a better friend.
Beautiful. I love that. I did want to point though that men, I feel like, are a little different in building relationships than women. So I can see why they have like friends for like ever. But like one of my best friends, she's my middle school. I've known her since middle school, but there was times where we like outgrew each other. We were just like in different seasons in life, but it was never anything. We've never had like anything bad, like
black blood or anything. Yeah,
we always like end up together in a certain way, you know. We're back together. But I'm all for making new friends. I think you should not shy away from that, and know that, like you said, everything that God is pouring into you or teaching you or allowing you to experience is to help connect with other people as well. And that's very important. I think building relationships is really important. Everybody knows this. I'm obsessed with my friends. I'm obsessed with my family, because I say it all the time, but it's because I wasn't always that great of a friend. I was, you know, and I've said this before, at a very surface level, and I had to learn how to build friendships and just relationships in general. There's certain people that you do certain things with.
Yeah. Oh, well, I feel much better then.
Yes.
Well, I definitely hope to take our relationship to, a different level. Just not just me interviewing me, and then that's it. And I'm like, hey, girl. Because I feel like you have a lot to offer for a lot of women. And like I said, me just looking at you before I even actually got to even talk to you, I'm like, you were something that I saw like, okay, God, if she can do it, then it's hope for me. Like, I know I can do it, because at one point in time, she probably was saying the same thing I'm saying. She probably felt the same way that I'm saying, but I won't know until I actually talk to her. And so when I talk to you, I'm like, oh my God, everything is confirmation in. So like I said, I truly appreciate you. And I wanted to show my gratitude by giving you a gift and just saying, hands down, you do your thing, and I'm proud of you. Nobody else, I'm proud of you.
Oh, I can't wait to hug you after this. Thank you. That means so much. I just, I said I'm not gonna cry on these episodes. I
yes, hope. If you cry, your girl's gonna cry.
We gonna be up here crying together.
I know.
You know, one person that you do remind me of is Drika Gates. Is that how you say her name?
Oh, Kevin Gates' wife?
I
do?
Yes. Isn't she from Louisiana too?
I don't know if she personally is, but I know he is.
But she has like her own farm.
Yeah, she has her own farm.
She has her own like cannabis brand.
Yes,
like, she's very organic and holistic. Is it holistic?
Yes, yeah, for sure. And Kevin Gates is as well, even though he acts crazy, the way he is, but he definitely took that journey with her as well. So she's a beautiful soul as well, doing her thing with the farming and just kind of connecting how things that comes from the earth is what we actually need to eat, and how eating these things that doesn't come from the earth kind of affect us. So
you were kind of giving me her energy.
Oh, okay.
So what is one thing that you are leaving in 2022 and not bringing into 2023 with you?
One thing that I'm leaving in 2022 and not bringing this year is fear.
Amen to that. I love it.
Yeah. I am tired of living a fearful life for the wrong things. So it's time to let that go.
I think that's so beautiful, because it takes a lot to get to that point, to have that like awareness, because there's, not to like shade anybody or anything, but there's like people that live their whole life like that,
And I was like, that person.
But you're still so young though. There's like probably a 65-year-old that's going to watch this and be like, I wish I was 31 and could have had that perspective or that awareness to take those steps at that age, so I commend you on that.
Thank you.
You deserve everything that's coming your way. So
thank you.
Walk by faith.
Yes.
Let fear go. Rebuke that. Don't let lies take over like your train of thought, or just take over you, period. Because I really do feel that who you are and who God's told you that you are, and that's who you are. And sometimes the enemy starts attacking us with these lies and telling us like, you can't do this, or you're not this person, or do you really think that's all the enemy, that's not the truth, and you rebuke it and you tell him what your truth are and who you are, and he will leave you alone. He likes to bother us, and you're not welcome around here.
Because I'm taking everything back that he tried to steal, or he thought he stole. I'm taking it all back, because God did not create me to be a fearful individual. He created me to have power and to be loving and genuine, just as him. Like, as much as who God is, that's what I want to be.
Amen. Yeah. Amen. That's the goal.
Yes, man.
And it's an everyday thing.
It's an everyday thing. And I'm not perfect. Just how anyone say I'm not perfect. Yeah. I still have things that I revert back to, but just keeping in mind my goals of what I want to tell myself, that I am not fear. Yeah. Because I am is such a powerful word. And that's like one of the first words that God spoke, I am. Yes. And anything that you say, I am, and that's who you are. And I'm saying I am not fear. Yes. So, and that's what I'm not going to be. I love I am so much. Like, I got it tattooed on my arm with the butterfly. And this butterfly represents a revolving door of change. Like, I will always be changing and blossoming, and I am that.
And it's not just any butterfly. The wings are flapping.
The wings are flapping. So like continuous growth.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen that. That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I love I am statements. I think, and I'm not saying I do this every time, but for the most part, I always try tell myself my I am statements in 2 different settings. The first is always when like I know I'm being attacked by the enemy, and I've gotten to this point where it's like I'll tell my best friend something, and me and her look at each other like it's so obvious that he's really trying it, and it's not gonna work. Like we be going in on him. It's not gonna work. It's not. And then the second is like when I go to sleep. I try to repeat my I am statements to myself as much as possible. And I fall asleep telling myself my I am statements. So it's like, you know, just a list. Okay, now that we're talking about I am statements, I'm going to say this really quick. I was in a short relationship. I just started the season in a relationship and I'm no longer in one. But I did have a conversation with him and I told him that because I want God to, not that I want, God will be the center of my husband's and I relationship. And that's one thing that I always got across to him, where it was like, you know, before there's certain conversations or discussions that we have. And there's times where I'm like, I can't come to you first. Like I have to go talk to God, and whatever, you know, comes out from that, then I'll come and try to have a conversation with you, because there's certain things that I don't want to react emotionally or just impulsively and be like mean or, you know, be offensive or anything. So in one of the conversations I was telling him, because we were having like a minor thing where it was my first time ever fasting. And when I tell you that enemy had me crying for 3 days straight. He was really trying me.
And that brings the alter ego out of you when you especially if it's something that you never done before.
So angry. And I was like, okay, how can I say this? I want to say it right. I was telling him that what my technique in a situation like that is, when I know I'm being attacked by the enemy, is to remind myself my I am statements, because I'm not what he is trying to lie and have me believe those lies that I'm not, you know? So I just go through the I am statements, like I am deserving, I am kind, I am loving, I am purpose driven, I am a great sister, I am a great I like to say mother, even though I'm not a mother yet. I speak a couple other things that I'm not yet, but, you know, that I aspire to be. And that I will be, you know? So I was telling him, I'm like, so when there's times that I'm like upset at you, I'm statements for him. Or I'll say like my husband is, because of course if I'm in a relationship with you, it's because we're dating to marry. And I'm speaking husband over you because I want my husband, you know? So I'll say like my husband is a leader. My husband is determined, my husband is strong, my husband leads our relationships, like just speaking those things over him as well. I was telling him that was like one of the techniques that I use to like just block out the lies and like the negativity and just really speak great things over us and into the relationship. And he was like, oh wow, like I'm gonna start doing that, you know? I thought that was really cool. That was one of like my I am statements, so I got to share it with somebody and it like helped him, you know?
For sure. I have a whole journal of I ams. Every day I write to myself. Like journaling also is another healing mechanism that I recommend any and everyone to do, because it is so powerful. It has you to be in a state that you're comfortable in your own skin. It's almost like you're being naked and you can speak everything that you want to speak, and it's between you and God, or if you whoever you want it to be in between, but it's just you and that moment and your truth, and you can write it down without any judgment. So journaling, especially my I am journaling, got me through a lot of times and made me just become stronger and stronger, because that's also another goal that I had for 2023, be a stronger version of myself, because I am strong. You are, and you're deserving, and you're loved. Everything. Thank you. And as you are.
Thank you. You're so cute. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna try snacks. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, I'm gonna read through. Ooh, Wyoming athletic beef jerky. I'm not a beef jerky girl, but with some cheese, I will be eating these with cheese.
Really?
I'm a huge cheese girl, and I'm a huge avocado girl.
I love
have to have cheese on everything. And literally, I can eat avocado with mostly everything. You can't put avocado on everything.
So, okay, wait. I have to ask you, what type of beef jerky have you been eating? The name, like the brand.
Oh, the original one that you get at the gas station.
Okay, so that's probably why you have to have cheese with it.
Okay.
So I will say with this brand here, it's plenty of brands out there, but I always try to go for something that says grass fed. That means because it's real beef.
Because the animals eat only grass.
Yeah, and that is actually real.
Okay.
Because probably the Slim Jims that's artificially
That's
made.
the name of the brand.
Yeah, so that's probably why you have to mix it with something else because your body is like, oh, this is nasty.
Okay.
But I'm guarantee you try that, you're not gonna want to mix it with cheese because you want to taste all the goodness of it because grass-fed beef has a lot of healthy fats in it, and fats give it a lot of flavor. Yeah, so I think you're
like
gonna enjoy
stuff.
that. Yeah, me too. And fats are good. Like, I don't know why people say, oh, don't eat fats, low carb. All that is not good. Our brain is made up of so much fat, and without supplying it enough fat, it's like, how could you think straight? A lot of people have brain fog issues or cognitive issues. You have to feed your brain the right material, and that's healthy fats.
Okay.
So yeah.
You see, one thing about me is like, I repeat a lot of things. Like, I'm very big on like, just sharing a lot of like deeper stories and conversations and stuff. So I always start with like, I don't know if I told you this already, and then I'll tell you the story again. I don't know if that consists of like
so many people like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's the issue. Brain fog is like you're trying to do a task and it's like you cannot focus on doing it. It's like, oh my God, I feel tired, or I really can't hone into the things that I need to get done. That's what brain fog is. It's just, you're just feeling like, when you get sick, that feeling like I can't think straight, like everything just feel like a blur and it's running together. That's what brain fog is.
Okay.
Yeah, not like, okay, I'm repeating something because
sometimes I feel like God forbid I end up with like Alzheimer's, but it's like it's not that I'd be forgetting, because sometimes I do forget, but it's like I just forgot if I told you, because I've shared the story with probably like 10 other people. I'm excited to share the story.
Yeah.
So,
and what happens in life, like we have triggers. So something may come up where you'll see somebody's face, or you'll hear a song, or you'll smell a scent, and you're like, okay, that's triggering a memory, and then you'll say it again. Not to say you forgot it, it just triggered that memory to come back up again. So that's why you speak about it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just like a triggers, and triggers not always a bad thing. It's just something coming up, giving you reminders of what happened, and that's why you speak upon it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. That's good to know, because I did have somebody once tell me like, you've already told me the story. So after they told me that, I was like, okay, I now have to start every sentence when I tell a story with, I don't know if I told you this already, but
do you have deja vu a lot? Do you know, like, okay, you know what deja vu is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I've experienced it before a couple times, but not a lot. I think I've experienced it at this last event, actually. Yes, like the day before yesterday. Like, I think I've been here before, or like I've seen an event start like this before.
Yeah, they say experiencing deja vu is like, that means that you're living a good life, you're on the right track. Ooh. I mean, that's what I've heard. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that I'm right, but I've heard that when you're having deja vu and the more you have it, that means you're in alignment and you're on the right path.
That makes sense.
So a lot of things I feel like we go through in life, it's an experiment. Like, your soul has probably already experienced it, and now that your physical flesh is going through it, and you have that flashback like, oh, okay, I've been here before, I've seen this. And that's because you're on the right path, because your soul already walked that path. Now your flesh is walking it, like, oh my God. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing to have. At first I used to get freaked out, like, oh my God, I've seen this before, and then I talked about it, and I kind of learned more like about spirituality and what it actually entails, and that's why it made sense. Okay, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, when you say it that way, it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
And I would have wanted to be that. You know? But I have heard that it's like, oh, you've lived that before, but it's like, no, I think yours sounds better. I like going with that. I will go with that one. I'll go with that one. Okay, macro bar, Sweet Awakening mocha chocolate chip.
Yeah, so that's, I know, since you work out a lot, so I didn't know you work out a lot, and that you're on the move a lot. So having like some good protein to have is, make sure it's the right one. Yes. That's a really good brand to have.
It's organic. It's organic and gluten-free.
Yes, and it has coconut sugar and not white refined sugar, because you want to make sure you stay away from anything with refined sugars.
Okay.
Coconut sugar does not spike our blood sugar levels, so you can have it and your blood sugar won't shoot through the roof, and you won't feel like that shaky sensation like after having something sweet.
Okay.
So always make sure you have coconut sugar. The taste is different, so that's why I do want you to try it. Our palates are, if you're used to eating like a lot of sweet foods and processed foods, our palates are trained to have those type of foods. So when you implement things that are more healthier and more cleaner, you're gonna think that they're gonna taste nasty, and it's not that they taste nasty. It's just a part of your brain that's not open up just yet, and trained to taste things that of quality. So I think the more that you try to implement these in your diet, the more you retrain your palate, because we eat a lot of things called hyperpalatal foods, and those are things that triggers dopamine in our body, which is a feel-good hormone, to make us feel like, okay, I want more. So that's why we crave these things, like, oh, I want McDonald's, or I want Taco Bell. I mean, I don't eat that, but I'm just giving an example. I was starved before I eat that. I'm sorry.
I literally can't remember.
People call me bougie, but I'm like,
no,
I'm not eating that.
No
Pop, no fast food. I'm not gonna lie. The only fast food your girl would try is In-N-Out.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
In-N-Out on a late night. Like, okay, I had a long week. I've been doing good these past. I'm gonna get In-N-Out.
Yes.
So,
okay. In-N-Out is a go. Okay. Well, first off, McDonald's is just. I can't even. I think the last time I ate McDonald's was when I was like in
high school,
college. Actually, my
okay.
best friend was telling me that she was doing a McDonald's binge, and she told me why. And I'm just the type of person like, you only have to tell me one time, and I'm gonna make that change. And I have not eaten McDonald's ever since. But yeah, I'm not a McDonald's girl. Chick-fil-A is like my go-to.
Oh my
love me
God.
some
Chick-fil-A gets this weird aftertaste to me that I cannot stand it, and it's because of the peanut oil. So peanut oil is any seed oil is very inflammatory. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to break the news to you. So yeah, it causes a lot of irritation in the body, and inflammation is the number one cause of this disease. So that's why the cancers, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, it's just all inflammation. So when you eat less inflammatory foods, the more healthier you can become. So yeah, Chick-fil-A not.
Oh man, okay.
Not me, but In-N-Out.
What about their I love their salads.
Their salads, they have a lot of stuff in it too, a lot of ingredients. If you ever look, I always recommend people to follow not only myself, but it's a lady called at the Food Bait on Instagram. She goes over the whole spiel of like all types of foods that we normally eat on a daily basis, of the actual ingredients that's in it, and they look like a book story long. So I will say, like, when you are going grocery shopping or you are looking at the labels and the ingredients, if it's like a story page long, don't even bother reading it, just put it back.
That makes
It's not
sense.
for you. The less ingredients it is, the better it is for you.
Okay.
And also things that's on the shelf or packaged, because they don't have any nutritional value to it. So things that come, like I said, straight from the earth and fresh and very colorful and vibrant, those are the things you want to put inside our body. Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, let's see what else we got. I'm not a very like sweets girl, like is like as far as like sugar. I don't like sugary stuff, but I like chocolate.
Yeah, and so that chocolate there is the number one chocolate on the market as far as being very clean with their ingredients. Also made with coconut sugar. They have all different flavors, and it's also vegan as well.
Can I read this? It says no refined cane sugar, no stevia. What's that?
That's a type of sugar.
Okay. No sugar, alcohols, no dairy, no soy, no sunflowers. Lecithin? Lecithin.
Yeah.
It's vegan.
It's vegan. It's
so funny. I seen this like video of this dad that was telling the daughter, like they're in the mirror in the restroom. He's like, say cheese. She's like, I can't say cheese. I'm vegan.
That is too cute. Aww.
He's like, oh, you're right. He's like, the mom's going to go in there and get on his butt.
It's also some energy drinks. I'm not a big energy drink fan, but it is some cleaner versions out there. Okay. So I always suggest to go with those.
I got excited because I'm not a big energy girl. I recently started taking pre-workout just because I do get low on energy, but it most likely 100% comes back to the way I'm eating. So just being able to see this and know that there's like a cleaner version is cool. I've never drank Red Bull. I'm a big coffee girl. That's the one thing that I'm like,
I know.
Can we like, is there like a way to let go of coffee? I love coffee.
Yeah, and I did a little segment on my page of like a quick little reel about coffee. So a lot of people don't know. I know it's not bad. No, it's the type of coffee that you drink.
Even my esthetician says that it's bad for my skin.
And you know why it's bad for your skin? Because a lot of coffee in the U.S. is not regulated to test mold. So most of our coffees that we're consuming on a daily basis has mold in it. So mold messes with our skin. It messes with our gut health. So it's a few brands that's on the market. One is called Purity, Danger, Life Boost, and what is the other? Bulletproof. Those are the top coffees that actually was regulated to be tested for mold. But like your Starbucks, your H-E-B, most of the coffee shops out here, it's cheaper to not get tested for mold. It's not regulated. So why not have it and give it to consumers? So that's why it's not good for their skin is breaking out. But I'm telling you, if you try these other coffees, I grew up with eczema and acne my whole life, and I'm a huge coffee drinker, been like that for my whole life as well. And as soon as I switch those coffees, I don't have any skin flare. That's why I said being healthy is not boring. It's not like tasteless.
But I feel like change and like stuff like this should be exciting. I get excited over stuff like this.
But you know, some people just get so comfortable just being comfortable.
Like just quick, easy. Go to like either results or just. But I think just our culture here is like that. It's like fast paced, easy, like quick, cutting corners. Like,
oh, why not?
And you know, I think within the last year, I've learned that I'm okay with taking my time with certain, like going through certain journeys or certain things, because I love my family, but they're very big on cutting corners, and it's just my upbringing. We didn't have much. It was always easy to do certain things that way and everything, you know? And I picked up on that habit, and I applied it to a lot of areas in my life. And it's like, now that I'm getting older, I'm learning to just enjoy certain journeys and certain things and taking my times with them, because the outcome is always better that way. So I'm excited to start this journey.
Yes, I'm excited.
I'm gonna open up the chips.
I love willing people. Like, the more I encounter with people that are willing, like, that's the number one step of healing. Like, you want it for yourself, because I can't want it for you.
Can we talk about that, please? Yes. I say that all the time. Like, I think it's so beautiful seeing the person wanting to have that change for themselves, and for somebody to come along and be like, hey, and this applies to like even relationships. So it's like, if you see, I don't know, something about a man just, you know, taking his own self-growth journey, his own everything, that just is like, oh, okay.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, because he didn't need like a woman to come and be like, you need to be like this, or you need to change your health, or how you work out, or how you carry yourself, or your relationship with God. Like, no, he did it because he wanted to. And then imagine two people like that. Like, that's just beautiful.
Because I can definitely say, like, my husband, I'm not just saying it because he's my husband, my man. But no, my husband really directed me and showed me how to change for myself and actually love myself, because I thought, you know, everybody feels like, oh, I love myself enough, like, of course. But until I met him, and he just showed me so many different things in life to actually want it for myself, and not because somebody else wanted. You doing this because you want to do it, not because somebody else is going to do it. Or you doing this because it makes you feel good, not because it makes somebody else feel good. So just him implementing those things in my life really showed me how to love on Chelsea. And the more I loved on Chelsea, I opened up and I started actually loving him even more. And doing that, he started living on me even more. So it's like it was a chain reaction. It's such a beautiful experience and journey to go through that. I've been with him since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
We've been dating now for 14 years, married going on 4 years. And it's been like, sometimes I feel like, okay, I have my cap on how much I love. Like, I love you. How much more can I love you? Then God brings something else in our life, and boom, there goes some more love to drop down on you. So it's like never ending. And I used to always hear, it may be off subject, but
no, you're fine.
I used to always hear people say like, oh, I fell out of love with that person. And at that time, me just knowing that I was always afraid to get too deep in a relationship, because I'm like, okay, if I really, really love this person, they may fall out of love with me. Because I hear that so many times. Like, somebody say, oh, I fell out of love, or we fell out of love. But with real love, you can't fall out of love.
Beautiful.
No matter what. No matter if you're not with that person, you never can fall out of love, because love doesn't hurt. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is genuine. And God is love. And when you see God in the person that you were with, it's like never ending. So
Lord, I see what you're doing for others. I'm patiently waiting for my
yes,
turn.
it is
I
a
love
beautiful
it.
it's a beautiful thing. And I would never, like, being in high school with somebody, I'm like, we're probably not gonna make it out of high school being together, but God really put us together for a reason. And I remember when when we first started dating, like within a year, he told me, he said, it's something about you that is very special, and I feel like you're my angel. And I was like, oh, you just saying that because you love me, like you just trying to get some brownie points.
Yeah.
But now I actually see, like, that I was meant for him, to get him through a lot of times in life, and he was meant for me.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about our story is I choose to love him every day, and he chooses to love me.
Yeah,
like, it's a choice. It's not an obligation.
Yeah, and the willingness, the wanting to do it, you know, the intention behind that. That's so beautiful.
Yes.
Well, I wish you guys so many more years.
Thank
forever,
you.
actually, not even years, like forever.
Thank you. Yes, I do want to grow old with him so we can laugh and think about all the times. Yes. Like, man, we really grew up together.
Yes, and thank you for sharing that. I feel like a lot of younger women need to hear that.
Yeah.
Just because society has relationships in a really bad space right now, and they're being conditioned by social media and programmed by social media. And when I say people, I'm also including myself, because I was at that point before. And but I chose to, you know, I'm still on social media. Yeah. But I chose to have a relationship with God and follow him, and know that that is what a relationship is supposed to be. Exactly how you described it. Yeah. And I think a lot of people need to hear that, especially for how long you guys have been together, that it's doable, and that real love like that still exists.
For sure.
And that's so beautiful.
Yes. You have to make your own story. Like, don't put a label. Like, yes, I'm a wife. I'm his wife. Yes. Yes, my last name is, he gave me his last name. My name is Wes, but I'm still an individual. And he always made me feel like I would never want you to lose who you are as a person. Beautiful. And I had to allow him not to be so indulged in him being a husband, having husband duties, because there's no such thing as being a husband, because it's some people that are husbands out there, but then behind closed doors, Lord knows what they're doing. And so putting these titles on you and having to have that weight, because men have a lot of weight, just like women. We have a lot of weight to carry as a husband, as a male, period. They have a lot to carry. Yeah. So to carry on another obligation of being a title of being a husband is a lot for them. So I just allow him to be who he is, and that's who I fell in love with. So why I try to change you just because you're my husband, and vice versa. Like, why should he try to change me just because I'm his wife? Right. He loved who I am, and he loves on who I am and who I'm becoming. Yes. So, yeah.
And the thing that's crazy is that you guys were together since y'all were younger. Y'all been together since y'all was younger.
Oh my God.
So I can't imagine how much change and evolution came with that, and you guys just like pulling through all those changes and accepting it, and like really, that's so beautiful. We don't see that enough on like a day-to-day as far as like social media, you know? So that's really beautiful. And I'm very big on individuality in every relationship, especially with your intimate partner. You know, like, you still have to be your individual self. But even with friends, like I want to be around friends that allow me to be myself and know that just because I'm not exactly like them, that I'm still accepted. You know, I think that's really beautiful.
So how did you like it? You had one.
All right, I'm over here like I love it. Hold on. ASMR.
So tell me your experience, like, as far as, like, you had a real churro, like your typical churro. Yeah. And you had chips before, like.
Yes. So this is definitely a churro chip. It's fluffy. It's airy. It's not over sugary, which I don't really like too much sugar, which is good. And it doesn't give you, like, you know how when you eat hot fries, it's like, oh, I don't want another one, and I want another. It's like addicting. No, you could tell. I don't know what they put in hot fries, or like Cheez-Its. Oh, so addicting. This doesn't do that to you. It's like settling. And it's good. You do want to eat more, but it's not like you're just like grabbing at the bag, like, give me more. So it's really good. I like it. Good.
Well, that's exciting. Oh, if you like that, they have, like, if you like chips, and I'm a chip and dip girl. Chip and dip and like a margarita, I am guilty for that. So their brand of tortilla chips is really good, and they have a salsa as well. Yes, so check it out. All these snacks that I actually bought, they're from Sprouts. Like that's my number one go-to place to shop. They always run deals. Like I'm telling you, just make sure you keep your receipt and kind of look online to evaluate how their pricing is going. And I think like it's a win-win.
Beautiful. Yeah. Can you give us your top 5 grocery stores, or like range them in order?
Okay, so Sprouts is my number 1. And then my number 2 would be Central Market. And then number 3, H-E-B. And then number 4 would be Whole Foods. And then number 5 would be Costco. And the only reason why Costco is like number 5 is just because I have a small family, and when you go shop at Costco, you have to buy in a bulk, and I hate to waste anything. So I feel like because my family is so small, like I'm going to waste it. But they have really, really good deals and pricing and good healthy snacks as well.
So we're moving on to the next segment.
Okay.
It is called Leave a Message at the Beep, where the guest before you came on and she left you a sweet little message.
Aww.
And you will listen to it, and then you will then leave a message for the next guest, and it just goes on and on.
Oh, okay. I love it.
So I'm going to tell you, while he pulls it up, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the guest that was here before you.
Okay.
Her name is Hawa. She is a model.
That is beautiful. I love that name.
She's an African queen.
What?
Yes.
Love it.
She and I went to college together, and we recently reconnected. She is in the modeling industry, so she models, and that's Hawa. She's an amazing soul, very chill, laid back, sweet, kind, understanding. She met me probably in one of my darkest seasons in life and was amazing with me through it. I was like, I don't even know how you put up with me, how you still my friend, because I don't know if I could have done the same. But she's amazing.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, and she was just recently in Fashion Week. She was well, actually Fashion Week is going on right now. I know by the time it airs, it's not going to be Fashion Week. But she flew from Fashion Week in here to do the podcast, and then she headed back home.
And she flew out here just for you. That's how you know you're special, girl. You got people taking flights for you.
Yes. We're going to pull up the video so you can watch it.
Okay, this one I stole from like my friend, but like my friend was saying the world is too small to be a bad person. So be kind to people and be kind to yourself as well. So the world is too small to be a bad person.
So you got to hear what Hawa got to say. That was her message to you.
Beautiful. So, love it.
We're going to close off with our last segment. I want to say thank you so much for coming on, for connecting, and having the courage to connect. That reminds me that people are actually out here watching and interacting and engaging with the bloom. So I want to say thank you for that. And I can't wait to start our journey with being more healthy in my eating. And just see how we can continue to connect, because I'm always open to connecting and just growing and assisting anywhere I can. Don't ever be scared to reach out. If I can't, I'm gonna kindly say I can't, but for the most part, I'm a very yes. Like, I don't want to say I'm a yes person, but like I just enjoy being able to like take on new tasks and do new things. So so thank you so much, and I want to show you my appreciation. We got you some flowers.
What girl doesn't love flowers?
Right, you're so deserving, and it's just our way of saying
thank you.
Thank you for coming on and keep doing what you do and serving your purpose.
Thank you. No so beautiful. And like I said, I just want to tell you, besides, giving you the gift, like, hands down, you're doing your thing. Just keep believing in yourself, because I know that's what made who you are. And you touching like women who don't even reach out to you. Just know that they're watching. And just know that they are caring, and that you're getting ready to change a lot of people's life and give people that platform or that little push that you need, because this gave me a push that I need to come outside of my shell. So I appreciate you for allowing me to do that, and God giving me this opportunity, because without him I couldn't connect to you.
Amen. Thank you so much for that.
Yes,
it's so beautiful. I love it. Inside and out.
Oh, thank you.
So now just let everybody know where they can find you and what's to come.
Okay, so you can find me right now on Instagram at what.r.ueden. And you can also reach me through email, and that is my last name, WEST, then first name, Chelsea, CHELSEA, then 65@gmail.com. And what's to come is I'm working on getting my website officially up and out to the world to see, and also implementing that farms to fork service to you guys, because I really want to get all these local farmers that's out here just doing their thing and growing organic produce for us to actually enjoy and eat, because that's what's meant for us. So yeah.
Beautiful. I'm excited to see how you evolve with everything that you're doing, and hopefully have you come back on.
Yes.
Just so everybody can see the evolution too.
Oh, yes. I would definitely enjoy that.
Continue blooming.
Yes.
And I'm just excited for you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to close off. Alrighty. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this episode, and I will catch you on the next one.